It's roughly 300,000 years ago. You're a human, sort of. You wake up, look around at your group, and you have absolutely nothing to say. Not because you're tired, not because you're introverted, because the machinery required to form a single word simply doesn't exist yet. No language, no names, no stories, just grunts, gestures, and expressions that somehow keep everyone alive. And yet, here we are, 7 billion people on a planet absolutely drowning in words, podcasts, arguments in comment sections, passive-aggressive texts that say fine, but mean absolutely nothing of the sort. So when did this start, and why us? When every other animal seemed to figure out that grunting was probably enough, the honest answer is we genuinely don't know exactly, because language doesn't fossilize. You can find a bone needle from 50,000 years ago, cave paintings, stone tools, but a word, gone the moment it ended. No fossil of a vowel, nothing. What we do have is one very important bone in your throat. In most mammals, the larynx sits high. They can breathe and swallow simultaneously without choking. In humans, the larynx sits dramatically lower, which means we cannot breathe and swallow at the same time. Which means every single time you eat, you are genuinely risking choking to death. We built an entire emergency maneuver, the Heimlich, specifically because of this design flaw. And yet evolution kept it. Because a low larynx creates a longer vocal tract. A longer vocal tract means a vastly wider range of sounds. We traded the ability to breathe while eating for the ability to say anything at all. Evolution chose words over not choking, which honestly feels very on brand for our species. But having a throat that can make sounds and actually having language are completely different things. In 2001, scientists identified a gene called FOXP2. Every mammal has some version of it, but the human version contains 2 specific mutations found nowhere else in the animal kingdom, critical for the fine motor control required to produce complex, rapid, precise sequences of sound, which is exactly what speech is. When researchers found families with a damaged version of FOXP2, affected members could hear perfectly. They were intelligent. They understood language, but producing it was genuinely impaired. Genetic dating suggests the modern human, FOXP2, emerged between 100,000 and 200,000 years ago, right when symbolic human behavior explodes. Ochre, shell beads, deliberate burial. That is either an extraordinary coincidence or it is the story. So why did language develop? 3 theories. Theory 1, hunting coordination. Except wolves, orcas, and lions coordinate hunts brilliantly without language. Theory 2, social bonding. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar argued language evolved as vocal grooming. Instead of picking through fur one-on-one, you could gossip, signal loyalty, bond with an entire group at once. The first sentences weren't about mammoths, they were about other people. The first language was essentially social media. Theory 3 is the one that stays with you. The groups without language simply disappeared. We may have talked our competitors out of existence, not with arguments, simply by being more connected and more capable than anyone else. Language turns individual learning into collective intelligence. One person figures out which plants are poisonous. They tell everyone. The knowledge persists for 1,000 years without anyone rediscovering it. Before language, your inner life was locked inside you with no way out. Language cracked that open. Suddenly, your experience could enter someone else's mind. That had never existed in 4 billion years of life on this planet. And the first thing they probably said was something about someone else in the group. The drama, the gossip, the irresistible need to talk about other people. We've been doing it ever since. Some things genuinely never change. Would you give up language for a day? Let me know in the comments. Until then, see you soon.
Without anyone rediscovering it. Before language, your inner life was locked inside you